not been charged. What is tonight the status on that as of tonight?
After months of investigation, Tucker, these people still have not been charged. We have multiple people on the ground, 4 in particular that we have identified. Let me just call one of these people out. Somebody who was tagged on the internet by sedition hunters and capital hunters as Redface 45. This is a person who is dressed in Trump gear, in MAGA gear. He's covered in red from head to toe. His face is painted MAGA red. He's got a Trump hat on, Keep America Great Again hat on. Yet he is clearly a law enforcement officer. He interacts with uniformed personnel. He interacts with agents in the crowd. He passes up weapons, sledgehammers, poles, mace. Some of those things come into contact with other protesters who have subsequently been charged with possessing dangerous weapons and or using dangerous weapons at the Capitol. That is clearly entrapment. That is clearly the government creating conditions of dangerousness and entrapping members of the crowd to possess weapons and possibly use them for reasons that we cannot comprehend.
Wait, may I interrupt you right there? Why is it so difficult? Let's put his picture back on the screen. Why is it so difficult in an age of facial recognition? This is the largest dragnet in the history of American justice for one Republican member of Congress to force an answer. Who is this person? Why hasn't he been charged? That's a very simple ask. Why hasn't it been delivered?
That is a great question. And if you're a Republican congressman or a Democrat congressman or an independent congressperson listening tonight, I implore you, I encourage you to dig into this and to help us, because our democracy and our way of life is at stake. It is on the chopping block right now. And unless you fulfill your oath to your constituents and to your country to step up and to do the right thing here, then our democracy will be lost. There is no doubt about it. You have to help us.
Wow, that is incredible. That was an investigator, a prosecutor regarding the January 6th commission report hearing investigation that's going on right now, talking about potential agent provocateurs at the Capitol last year that were framing and inciting and provoking people, innocent people there, to do certain dangerous and unlawful acts at the Capitol. And we're going to go into all of that details, all of the unanswered questions that goes on in regards to January 6th and what took place last year, and get to the bottom of it, because this is very dangerous for the people of this country and for how we live our lives. What is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another broadcast of Break the Chains Media. Today is Friday, January 7th, 2022, and I am your host, Corey. We have been going over this, or at least the media has been going over this, for the last year, every single day, talking about January 6th. It has now been one full year since that fateful day, the most dangerous day in American history, says most Democrats on the Hill. More dangerous than more dangerous than Pearl Harbor and 9/11 and the Civil War. This day is just, we can never stop talking about it. It's always got to be there. It's always got to be in your mind, because Orange Man bad and questioning elections are bad, and everything is bad, and everybody there should be arrested and called terrorists. See, that's the narrative that they're trying to play. That's what they're trying to push right now. And we're going to go into all of that. I've got articles pulled up regarding people that are still in solitary confinement to this day, without trial, without anything. I mean, it's complete disregard for our constitutional rights as Americans regarding the people that are being held there regarding this. And then we're going to talk about the more important news, I feel, is regarding the agent provocateurs and people that were working with law enforcement, working with government to try to incite this, because there has been a huge long line of history regarding people impersonating protesters in trying to incite a response, also known as some would like to call it a false flag, because or a staged attack by agent provocateurs. They've done this time and time again, whether it was Charlottesville, whether it was the Black Lives Matter, whether it was all the way back to End the Fed and March on Wall Street kind of stuff. They've been doing this forever. And you have these people that go there to incite honest and peaceful protesters there to do things that they wouldn't normally do because they are provoking them. Okay, so we're going to go into all that. If this is the first time checking out Break the Chains Media, you got to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, share this with all your friends and family. I'm also on new tech platforms, BitChute, Minds, Rumble, Gab. I'm on Telegram, t.me/breakthechainsmedia. So I do a bunch of other content there. I also post stuff here. So, pin comment down below with the links down below there in the comment section. But we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about it because this is really important. And what it comes down to is if they're comparing, here's my thought, if they're comparing January 6th to Pearl Harbor, to 9/11, to the Civil War, let's think back and think about what did the government do in response to those moments in history. After 9/11, we got the Patriot Act, we got the NHS, or not the NHS, the DHS and the surveillance state, all the spy system that went into place after 9/11. We also have the Department of Homeland Security, all that stuff. And then after Pearl Harbor, what happened after Pearl Harbor? We went into a literal world war. We went into the Second World War. Thousands and thousands, millions of people died. Okay? Completely just dangerous. And then the Civil War. What happened after the Civil War? We had a long, multi-decade strife and political divide and all of these dangerous things that went into place after all these things. So if they're comparing January 6th to these moments in history, they are trying to get the same type of reaction to what happened on January 6th. Because they're charging the language, they're charging the narrative of anybody who questions the election is a domestic terrorist. Anybody who supports nationalism or patriotism is a threat to our democracy. Anybody who questions 9/11 or questions the election or is a Trump supporter or has guns or anything that's conservative leaning or libertarian leaning must be a domestic threat to our society, and we have to make legislation to oust them and fine them and get them because they're bad people. See, that's what they're trying to push right now, and it's a danger to not just those people that they're trying to target, but every American in the country, because government only gets worse, and government is trash. I know that, and hopefully you should too at this point. But we're going to go into a couple different articles here, so let's check it out, folks. From the Epoch Times, January 6th defendant fingers 4 possible undercover agents. Oh, let's find it here. Where does he say it? He pulls the names. According to Nichols and McBride, released January 6th, footage shows the activities of 4 suspected government agents, unidentified men whom McBride nicknamed Redface 45, that was the guy in the opening video, Goggles Man, Pippi Longscarf, and Birdman. These are all obviously pseudonyms. Several members of this group circulated weapons and sprays throughout the crowd. Some members of this group were present in the now infamous fight inside the tunnel, McBride filing reads. Additionally, other members of this group can be seen on January 6th at the Ellipse, then again at the March at the Capitol, and highly strategic places on the Western Terrace. Okay? Redface 45 is purportedly seen in footage designated as highly sensitive of the West Terrace, where he alleges reaches into an uniformed officer's supply bag and removes an item. So that's on footage. Okay? Yes, yet he never once hit or maced for his actions, the filing said. Redface 45 seen passing weapons through the crowd on multiple occasions, seen communicating with other suspicious people through the use of military hand signals. All of this suggests that he is indeed an undercover agent. Okay, right there. And he keeps talking about the heave-ho chance. He's talking about, and then there's talks about the tunnel fight. Then there was another video going on. I don't know if this individual is listed in this report here as well, but there was another video of a man. Every time they had him on, it's on Twitter. It was all over the place. I should have pulled it up for the video, but he was just saying, "We've got to go to the Capitol. The Capitol's over there. We've got to get into the Capitol. We've got to get into the Capitol right now. Come on down. Let's go to the Capitol. Let's go into the Capitol. It's time to go to the Capitol." That's what he was saying in the video. Okay, and I don't know if he's listed in one of these suspicious persons reports, but there are many different agent provocateurs that happened on January 6th that were using their strategic motives to frame innocent and honest, peaceful protesters to stage an insurrection. Same thing. It was the same thing with the It's the same thing with the Q people, right? I had a whole rant about the Q people and how they had this false ideology that they thought that they were going to make something good happen that day, and they were so brainwashed. And the Q is actually a Russian. Back in the, I want to say it was the 70s or 80s. Back then, the Russians had a operation. I think it was called Operation Trust. Operation Trust. If you look up Operation Trust, it works. It's almost parallel, exactly point blank as the whole Q movement was. So it's very interesting that that was going on, right? So you have all that, and then let's see here. What else is in this? Oh, I'm talking about motion of bail. America will never know the truth about Mr. Nichols or any January 6er until the sensitivity designations are removed, the attorney said. As such, we respectfully ask this court to release the tapes and let the truth have its day in court. So they haven't even fully released all of the videos or tapes regarding. You would think that one of the most surveilled places on the planet, the Capitol. Let's put it this way: the Capitol Police was called off, even though Trump asked for it twice. The Capitol Police was called off, and then on top of that, you had Trump asked for National Guard, and then apparently everybody that was there was doing traffic operations or off campus or this, that, and the other, even though they had multiple weeks and months of evidence stating that we need a high security presence on that day. But nope, of course they didn't, because they wanted all this to happen. Okay, got another article here, folks. January 6th, a legacy of troubling questions. Okay. These are all quotes from different people that were there, pictures, footage. Okay. After three full force knuckle shots to White's head, the officer in white paused and then went for two more blows. He grabbed the hair and back and pulled it hard. So obviously they're just talking about this fight, struggle, breakout in the tunnel there. Well, let's see here. Where is this? We talk about. There's a picture of Ashley Babbitt. This is just a full-length article about just what went down. This is just kind of a preface of what happened on January 6th. Some 140 police were injured in the battle with rioters. Capitol Police Brian Sicknick died, although his death was eventually determined to be from natural causes. President Joe Biden describes January 6th as the, quote, worst attack in our democracy since the Civil War. Associated Press asserted that it was the most sustained attack on the seat of American democracy since the War of 1812. Stephen Son, a former U.S. Capitol chief, called it a coordinated violent attack on the United States Capitol by thousands of well-equipped armed insurrectionists. What world are they living in? Okay? And those people that were armed by Mr. Redface 45, right? Okay? The real January 6th story, they believe, remains hidden on some 1,400 hours of surveillance video from around the Capitol grounds. Portions of that video will undoubtedly be unsealed at some more than the 725 people arrested for the alleged January 6th related crimes. 725 people. Is there evidence of treason or sedition? Okay. Of the more than 725 people arrested over the past year, no one was charged with treason or sedition. At least 225 defendants were charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding police, including 75 who allegedly used a deadly or dangerous weapon, caused serious bodily injury or harm. Okay? Are there any investigative conclusions? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi appointed a select committee to investigate the January 6th breach of the violence. The group's work is ongoing. Of course it is. FBI's Norfolk field office sent out a situational informational report late on January 5th, warning of individuals traveling to Washington for, quote, war at the Capitol. But the agency didn't view it as a credible online post calling for violence. Capitol Police didn't have department-wide operational plan or staffing for the January 6th joint session of Congress. It faulted a lack of training in civil disturbance and failure to provide basic protective equipment to rank-and-file officers. What kind of pathetic excuse is that? Okay? Who incited the Capitol breach and violence? Okay? A man now knows... Oh, this is the video I was talking about. Excellent. A man now known as Ray Epps of Queen Creek, Arizona, was captured on video January 5th of last year, 2021, attempting to recruit Trump supporters to assault the Capitol the next day. Tomorrow, we need to go to the Capitol, Epps says in a video clip, into the Capitol. A man near him says, "What?" and others are heard shouting, "No." Then the crowd breaks into a chant, "Fed, Fed, Fed, Fed," accusing Epps of being a federal agent. Would you look at that? On the day of, people were there enough with proper foresight and hindsight to think, be like, oh, maybe this guy's a little shady, okay? Epps gets into verbal sparring with some of the Trump supporters. "You're counterproductive to our cause," one young man shouts. Epps shouts back, staying on the message, "It doesn't matter. That's not what we're here for. You're getting off the subject. We're here for another reason." Another video, Epps stating, "Tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested," prompting a nearby man to reply, "Then let's not say it." That's the other person saying it. Epps responds, "I'll say it. We need to go into the Capitol." A young man in the crowd wearing an American flag neck gaiter replies, "I didn't see that coming." So look, you have it right here, dude. There's the whole excerpt there of the whole of all of his information, okay? On the current list of 1,500 photographs of people the FBI wants to identify, there is no longer a number 16. The list skips from photograph number 15 to photograph 17. Epps hasn't been arrested or charged. John Guandolo, a former FBI agent and counterterrorism expert who was on the Capitol grounds on January 6th, said he saw FBI agents dressed as protesters. Okay, there's another video. There's another piece of evidence about it. Okay. Revolver Magazine, an independent news outlet, identified others around the Capitol who were active participants in the breach, but whose photos weren't included in the FBI's wanted list. One man wearing a gray bulwark jacket, knit cap, and sunglasses seen on video rolling green plastic fencing around the security perimeter. He pulls up and stakes and removes area closed signs. He pulls up signs. A man in a blue cap. Okay? Revolver's video investigation says that whether or not Epps or Schofield commander knew each other. Yes. Oh, this is the blue hat guy. Schofield commander. He barks out directives, encourages for more than 90 minutes. Don't just stand there. Keep moving. Move forward. Help someone over the wall. Wants to, like, we're in, man. Got to fill the Capitol. Come on now. We need help. Like, there are so much evidence regarding this. Let's see if I can see this.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go, I'll say it. We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail.
Right there.
Okay? Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol.
Unbelievable. And they're gonna state that this was a planned, coordinated attack. Look at this guy.
As soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol. The Capitol's this direction.
Unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna end it here. You can see the whole video on Twitter, I'm sure. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this video up, folks. Point being is that what happened on January 6th is a catalyst for further government tyranny, further government restrictions of our losses of freedoms, loss of liberty, loss of life, and the fact that they're using this as a narrative to promote domestic terrorism. And anybody who supports nationalism, anybody who supports, growing your own food and having your own guns and questioning certain things about government and having independent thought that's not towed by the mainstream media, those people like them are threats to our democracy and threats to and they're domestic terrorists. And this is just a call to show how dangerous it is to follow this type of rhetoric, this type of discussion and language. And, I could go on and on. We could talk more about it on my new tech platforms, Telegram, t.me/BreakTheChainsMedia, BitChute, Minds, Rumble, Gab, all the good stuff. Appreciate y'all, folks, for checking out the video. And we will keep the fight alive and always fight for freedom.